Hey guys, it's Bella, and welcome to the Guthic group lesson number 4. And our little historical tidbit for today is about Arios and Arian Christianity, because obviously the Ostrogoths and the Visigoths for most of their history were Arian Christians, and so it's a very important aspect of Gothic language history, the Arian part of Christianity. So, what exactly is Arian Christianity? So Arius was a theologian of the 3rd century Common Era, and he's first credited with popularizing the idea that in Christianity, Jesus Christ, God, and the Holy Spirit are not, like modern Christians believe, consubstantial, which means that they're not the same essence, but that Jesus is subordinate to the other two because he was made in human flesh. And this was like a really huge controversy. And here is a Byzantine icon depicting Arius as sort of demented and going insane because he's so, stupid, basically. The Goths. So, after Bishop Ulfilas converted the Goths to Arian Christianity in the 4th century Common Era, many other Germanic speaking tribes followed suit, such as the Vandals and the Alans, and they seem to have mostly converted to Arian Christianity. And this faith of theirs affected how they approached other religions. So Arianism was definitely a minority in the Latin speaking West, and probably because of this, if, say, King Theodoric the Great had persecuted Catholic Christians, he would have had to fight against a huge proportion of the Italian population who might have wanted to defend their Catholic faith. And as a consequence of this, it seems that in most of the in most of the countries inhabited by formerly Gothic speaking peoples, they were tolerant of other religions such as Catholics and Jews, and so you had a sort of plurality of religions that were allowed to in the Ostrogothic and Visigothic kingdoms. Oh, and sorry, that seal just here is a Bishop Ulfilas seal, which is why it's there. He was the one who converted the Goths to his version of Arian Christianity in the 4th century Common Era. And we can see the Arianism of the Ostrogoths reflected in their artwork. So this is a mosaic from the church of San Apollinare di Nuovo in Ravenna, and it was built by King Theodoric the Great and later appropriated by Emperor Justinian. Now, this scene here shows Jesus in a purple imperial robe. He's very much like a Roman emperor. It's really ornate here. And it's the scene of the feeding the multitude with the loaves and the fishes, right? And notice that in this picture he's clean shaven and looking quite young, whereas in this later picture, in these manuscripts follow throughout various scenes of Jesus' life. So that's an earlier scene, and then after his crucifixion, he's resurrected to his throne in glory, and here he is with a full beard. And the symbolism of this is a kind of depiction of Christ that only Arian Christians would do, because it's showing that Christ, like a regular human, grows older and ages and suffers physically in the body. And, well, the physical suffering was something that Nicene Christians emphasized well, but the fact that his body was subject to the world is only possible because the Arian Christians believed that the essence of Jesus Christ was more human than divine, and that he was subordinate to the Father and to the Holy Spirit. I don't know. Is this making sense to people? I know it's a rather, I guess, obscure bit of Christianity in history. So yeah, but there we go. A really cool aspect of these mosaics in San Apollinare di Nuovo is that when Emperor Justinian I reconquered Italy and therefore reconverted it to Catholic Christianity, he sort of removed all records of the Gothic-speaking Arian church that had existed beforehand, and this included censoring the mosaics in Santa Apollinare di Nuovo. So these porticos here, we believe that they originally actually depicted members of King Theodoric's court, and these were probably some Goths, and they were probably some Romans as well, but they were Arians. Maybe they were even Arian clergymen, and therefore Justinian sort of removed them from the mosaic afterwards and just filled it in black. But in a couple of places, they forgot that their hands were touching the pillars, and so they leave these little strands clinging to the pillars, these little fragments of Ostrogothic courtesans. And here, likewise, we have in a manuscript an Aryan Paschal treatise dedicated to a woman. The inscription reads, Incipi Tractatus Paschae, and then it says, so here begins a treatise on Easter, and it says, Lege Felix, and then her name is crossed out. Lege Felix Amantia, cum tuis in Christo Jesu Domino Noster. Well, I should say Nostro, my maxima culpa, I messed up on that. But it says, read Happy Amantia with your fellows in Christ, Jesus our Lord. And her name, Amantia, has been removed. So maybe she was a known Aryan. And in the aftermath of Justinian's reconquest of Italy, her name was just removed in a damnation of her memory. And, I thought I had included the picture of Justinian, well, there's a mosaic of King Theodoric as well, which seems to have just had its name changed and replaced with Emperor Justinian's name as this kind of damnation of the Arian Christian in memory. But yeah, it's a very important part of Gothic history. It's one of the reasons also why so many of our Gothic manuscripts are what are called palimpsests, where the original Gothic language has been scraped away and then a text has been written over it in Latin, but with modern imaging techniques we can read the Gothic text underneath. And that's because the Gothic language was associated very strongly with the Gothic speaking Arian church, which seems to have used the Gothic language in its church services and its theology and its liturgy. And so in the aftermath of Catholic reconquest of Italy, Gothic language treatises might well be assumed to be containing Arian spiritual contents, and therefore it was removed as a sort of way to remove the memory of Arianism from contemporary Italy. Does anyone have any questions before we move on about like Arianism, the Gothic Arian Christians, anything like this? Because if not, we'll move ourselves on to our modern Gothic. Lesiduk, Gudisk, and Werth. And we are on chapter 4. On third lesson and fourth lesson. Here we go. Zoom in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. So, unlike in English, Gothic marks something that will be called the accusative case, and this is also called the accusative, or AC for short. The accusative case, among other things, is used for marking the object of a sentence. So, for example, in the sentence, he loves me, the word me is the object, as it is the thing that's being loved. And another example would be, I have a dog. And so in this sentence, the word dog is the thing that is in the sentence which is being had. A good way to understand it, in my opinion, is to use pronouns. So pronouns in English do change depending on whether it's nominative, accusative, or genitive. And the example is, if we say he loves me, me is the accusative form of I. We can't say he loves I because that's ungrammatical, because he is nominative and me is the accusative. But if we have two nominatives, we essentially have two agents. We have two subjects, things that are doing action in the sentence, and that doesn't make sense. So we don't know who is loving who. Likewise, if we say him loves me, and aside from context, we don't really know who is loving and who is being loved in that sentence. And the difference, I suppose, is that in Gothic, all nouns and adjectives have a different form if they're in the accusative case rather than in the nominative case. So we are going to use the verb hava, meaning to have, to introduce you guys to the accusative case. And it's quite a difficult concept, but please try and stay with us. It's a good thing to know once you know it. Words in Gothic often change when they are in the accusative case. For example, the word hunds, a masculine word meaning dog, will change to hund in the accusative case. A feminine word like hethio, meaning room, will change to hethion in the accusative. And finally, a neuter word such as namo, meaning name, will not change in the accusative and it remains the same. This is a common feature of the neuter nouns to not change in form, whereas the feminine and masculine forms do change in their form. This is actually known as, I think it's called the super principle in Indo-European linguistics, because it's really consistent. I don't think you ever find a neuter noun which has a distinct accusative and nominative form. It's very interesting. And the word for that in Gothic, sa, this also changes when it's in the accusative. So we have sahunds, which is a masculine phrase meaning that dog, and it will become vanahund in the accusative. A feminine phrase such as sohethio, meaning that room, will become thohethion in the accusative. And finally, just as we mentioned before, the neuter tends to stay the same in the accusative case, which is to say that a neuter phrase such as thatanamo, meaning that name, will stay as thatanamo in the accusative and it will not change in its form. Does this make sense to people so far? Yes, brilliant, it makes sense. So here we have the verb hava, and these person number things just mean the person is here. So it's like first person is I, second person is you, third person is he, she, it. And then you have whether it's one person or more than one person. So hava is I, have is, haveth is he, she, it, or they have. Havam is we have, haveth is you plural have, because they distinguish if it's one you or it's more than one you. And then havand is they have. Okay, so let us have a look at our word stock and do a couple of exercises. So tho means that, and it's the feminine accusative form for the singular. Hethio is the word for room, and it's a feminine noun. Hethion is the accusative form of hethio. Hunds is a dog, and hund is the accusative form of dog. Filu is very. Himadaha is today. Atta is father. Atan is the accusative form of father. Ethi is mother. And then ethin is the accusative form of that same noun. Underhafts is answer. And then underhaft is the accusative form of answer. Unrechts is incorrect or bad. So if you give a wrong answer, I'll be like unrecht. And then freons is friend, and then freond is friend in the accusative form. We have fana, which is that, and that's the accusative form. We have namo, which is name, that's the accusative form. Well, it's accusative and nominative because it's a neuter noun. Kato, which is cat, and then katon, which is the accusative form. So I feel bad now for having repeated accusative form so many times. Do forgive me. But for now, let's do just a couple of these exercises. So you can feel free to type them in chat or shout them out if you want to, whichever one. Let's translate a couple of phrases from Gothic into English. So, Vo hethion hava. Vo hethion hava. Who can tell me what that means? I have that room. Fantastic. Yes, well done, Recormo. So hethio bokos haveth. So hethio bokos haveth. What does that mean? If we don't remember, bokos is a book. So hethio bokos haveth. Multiple people typing, bit of dead space. Use a chord to fill the dead space. That room has the book. So yes, so you guys have got it right. Yes. So solhethio is the nominative form. So that room, and then bokos is the accusative form, and then haveth is it has. So we know that because solhethio is the nominative, we know that it's the one that is having. So solhethio has the books. that room has books. Well done. Now, hund himadaha hava. Oh goodness, Noreg Veldi has answered the first four of them already really quickly, and they are all correct. Yes. So hund himadaha hava is I have a dog today, and then sa hund froth east is the dog is wise. Let's do one more, and somebody else can have a chance to answer another one. Atan yach ethin haves. Atan yach ethin haves. Haves. Go, go, go. Ooh, what I should do, because I'm getting a harp. This is a random interlude, but like I'm getting a harp. So like in the interludes, when people are like typing out their answers, I should play some Gothic harp music. Like, da-da-da. Do. I see people typing out answers. This is very exciting. Who's going to get it first? Do. Yes, both of you have gotten it in chat. It is Athaniach Ethin Haves is you have a father and mother, and we know that it's the father and mother who are being had because they are both in the accusative case. Very well done, guys. Let us. Actually, I think I'll save the English to Gothic for later, unless people want to do English to Gothic, because it's a bit harder to go the other way and do English for Gothic. Norgveldi has also gone through and answered some other ones, and what's the word? Norgveldi, you are correct. Yes, your answer so an haftsjach unrechter is correct. Yes. Do people want to do Gothic to English, or would you rather do that for your homework? Because you should be doing the rest of these workbook exercises on your own as revision practice, this kind of thing. I'll let people say whether they want to give it a go or save it for themselves. Okay, people can do these exercises on their own time, but please do so. So please go back and finish these exercises on your own and do these. As I said last week, we have the answers just right below. So if you are stuck and you're confused and you need the answer, you can find it, or you can just ask anyone in the Gooses Discord and we'll happily help you out. So let's go on. So just like nouns, adjectives will also tend to change form when they're being converted into the accusative. So an example of this would be in the sentence, I have a good dog, in which the words good modifies the word dog, which is in the accusative case. Now, unfortunately, we don't have anything like this in English. So we do just have to understand the concept de novo, as it were. So since the noun that the adjective works with is in the accusative, the adjective itself will also be in the accusative, and therefore the sentence will be translated into Gothic as hun godana hava. So hun godana hava. The forms of the adjective goths, meaning good, are godana in the masculine, goda in the feminine, and goth in the neuter. It's important to note again that the neuter adjective never changes its form in the accusative, and it will remain the same. Possessive pronouns, as we'll in the third lesson, these also change form when they're in the accusative. So using the word means, which means my, as an example for the accusative forms, the masculine accusative form is minana, and the feminine accusative form is mina, and the neuter accusative form is still min. Again, the neuter has not changed its form in the accusative. An example of an accusative possessive pronoun in use would be in the sentence hund minana hava, meaning I have my dog, in which the word minana goes with the word hund, which is already in the accusative case. And just for note, when you hear the phrase possessive pronoun, just these are just words like my, your, etc. It's not too difficult, don't worry. And in the sentence we gave above, hund minana hava, because hun is in the accusative case and minana goes with this word, minana also needs to be in the accusative case. Is this making sense so far to people in chat? I agree, Rodabes. It is very good to do these things as practice. Practice makes permanent, as the saying goes. Brilliant, people understand. Fantastic. So we have a few new words that we're going to introduce. I don't think they're going to actually use the verbs, are they? Oh, they are. Okay, fair. Well, it's fine. I'll help you with the verbs because the focus is on the nouns and adjectives here. So, will your is I want. Release is you want. Willy is he, she, it wants. Willima is we want. Willy is you want. Willina is they want. And so now we have the adjective for wise. So frodana, froda, froth are the accusative forms of the word wise. Likewise, godana, gotha, and goth are the accusative forms of the word for good. You might be noticing a pattern here. Langana, langa, lang is tall or long, and again the accusative forms. Morgiana, morgia, and morgiu are the accusative forms of the word meaning short. And then mikilana, mikila, and mikil are big. Uvilana, uvila, and uvil are bad. Mina, mina, and min are my. Thinana, thina, and thin are your. Unsarana, unsara, and unsar are the accusative forms of our. And then iswarana and iswara and iswar are the accusative forms of your when it's more than one, you. Havand is they have. Fehu is money. And nu is now. So, let us translate a couple of phrases from Gothic to English. I'll move it up so you can see as much as possible. So, who can translate the first one for me? Hethion mikila yupa hava. So, they haven't given you yupa here, but yupa means upstairs. Like our word up. So, who can translate Hethion mikila yupa hava? Hethion mikila yupa hava. Yes, you guys have gotten it good. I have a big room upstairs. Yes, Nara has corrected. Yes, litila would be a small room. Very well done. So, hund godana haves. Who can translate that one for me? Hund godana haves. Not quite. So hava would be I have a good dog. Haves is Nadra has supplied it. Yes, it is you. So yes, these first two, Hethion mikra yupahava and hun govana haves, is I have a big room upstairs and you have a good dog. Good dog, good doggo. Heckin' cute doge. So Willizu hund Mikkelana. Willizu hund Mikkelana. Who knows what that means? It is, do you want a small dog? Very well done, people. Yes. So, no hethion minna wilio. No hethion minna wilio. Who knows what that means? Wait, sorry. Yeah, Nandra is correcting me. Yes, it's not small. It's big. Yes. Mikela is big. Litila is or litilana little or little is going to be small. And yes, exactly, Ricardo. Nu hetion mina wilio is I want my room now. Very well done. Excellent. All right, this last long sentence, and then you guys can do the rest on your own. Vanna hun willima ja hun unsaranna hava. So vanna hun willima ja hun unsaranna hava. Who knows what that means? At connagesse mi vivere cum est. Quia nimis locuta sum. So, Rodabes has answered, for Vana Huna Willima Yahun Unsarana Hava is, we want that dog and we have our dog, which is exactly correct. Yes, well done, guys. Awesome, well done. Proud of you guys. You've been really quick, and that brings us to the end of this workbook chapter. Please questions in your own time, because it's important. Blah blah blah. But for now, let us go on and do carry on with our text, our hermeneumet pseudodositeana, which actually I just learned. Axel might be able to supply a translation for pseudo in Gothic, but hermeneumet basically means skirins in Gothic. So it's like skirins dosit, well, false Gothic Dositianos. I'm not certain, but Axel can work on giving us a translation for that. But anyway, this text, for those of you who haven't been, who are new, because we have lots of new people in chat and it's really awesome, welcome. So the hermeneumet pseudodositiana, which is a tongue twister, I acknowledge. It is a text that it's bilingual, so it has Latin and Greek, and it was used in the ancient Roman schools to teach their school children how to speak Latin, and sometimes it could have been used to teach them how to speak Greek as well, but it seems to have been made for a Greek speaker. And we have been translating it on this server into Gothic because it's a realistic text that somebody might have used. So for instance, the soldier Ciprianus, he is said to have learned Gothic. He wasn't a native speaker, and then he taught his children how to speak Gothic, as some people in our server want to do today. And he might have used a text like this, or a bilingual version of the Gothic Bible, such as the Codex Carolinus, as an example. So we've given a text like this to help you guys learn. I will quickly read through this. We've done this first part already in previous lessons, but I'll just quickly read through it. So, dags sunno uran urdun sunnons leohath you lohatith uchtwa fora leohada in morgena ustandla uslegra ustoth ligrs yisradagis gawaknoda gawasida mich geef mis gaskochi yach sukkan yach brok nu gawasit sim. So this means dags is day, sunno uran is the sun rose, urun sunnons the sunrise, liohath is like it is light. You lohathith is now it has gotten right, or now it's getting right. Urtwa is goodness, I believe it's I washed myself. Getting up, and then fora liohava is it's gotten bright outside. In morgena ustanva is I get up in the morning. Us legra ustoth is I got out of bed. Legrs is bed. Ristodaris gawaknoda is I woke up, I stayed up late yesterday. Ristodaris is yesterday. Gawasidamik is I washed myself. Mis gaskohiach sukkanjak brok is give me shoes and socks and trousers. And then Yugawatsitsim is like, now I am washed. So this is telling the story of a little boy who's going to school. He's getting up with the sun and he's dressing himself ready to go to school. It's quite a cute little everyday scene. And here's the other one. We've also done this in the last lesson. I will read through it very quickly because Ulrika has already done this. At ver watto handum is a bring water for the hands. Watto, water. Skalla, goodness. These are scales, I believe. Or soap, perhaps. Hanjos, no, that's not soap, sorry. Skalla is scales. Hanjos unhrenjos sind is the hand, my hands are dirty. Soljo is dirt. Fanny is, goodness, mud, I believe. Sepo is soap. Salvons is sort of ointment. And then salboths is when one has been anointed. And notice that salboths is a masculine adjective because the boy who it's referring to is masculine. Likewise, actually, in the previous one, you gawasits in the very last word, the adjective gawasits for like having been washed is masculine because the boy is masculine. And if it was a girl, it would be gawasira im. So, to go on. Thwaha is I wash. Nu handons minos yachlit minana gatwach is now I have washed my hands and my face. Wulit minana. And so now notice we can actually see here, we can see the possessive personal pronouns that we were using earlier in the lesson. So nu handons minos yachlit minana gatwach. So handons minos, these are both accusative plural forms, and then ulit minana is singular. Who can tell me whether ulit is masculine, neuter, or feminine based on the form minana that goes with it? Really observant person from the lesson may be able to pick up on that. So ulit minana, is that masculine, feminine, or neuter? Masculine, excellent recall. Yes, it is masculine. And the word means if it was feminine, it would be mina, or if it was neuter, it would just be mean. Very well done. Proud of you. Nice. So then we have bisuerva, which is I sort of rub or I wash. Noch ni bisuab is now I've not yet wiped or washed. Utana uslepa hethion usganga. So I go out of the bedroom. I exit out of the bedroom. Kuima, I come. And then in skola ganga, I come into the school. So now let's we have enough here, I believe, that everyone can just do one more. Do we even have the fourth part? No, we do not have the fourth part, which is because I honestly wasn't expecting we get this far with the lessons, but we got the students and this is really great. There will be a fourth part for next week, do not worry. But for now, does anyone want to have a go at trying to translate any of these lines? Forthis golia lesari huamik golif hes lesari hele mit siponios staths rif mis min stolila sitels and then galistu. We have one personal pronoun here, min. We have we have two adjectives that we can use to practice our skills in the lesson. So does anyone want to translate one of these? No, Axto, do not ruin my lesson with your jokery. He's joking people. He is a jokester and a fraud. This is not real. No, but who wants to give a go? Who wants to give a go at Rif mis min? It's actually quite similar to English. Rif mis min. I see people typing answers in chat. This is very exciting. Yay! Give me mine. Brilliant. Because mean is the accusative, neuter, so it's accusative. A side note about Lesari is hello teacher, yes, and how can we tell what gender the teacher is? Because I'll give you a clue. Hales is an adjective meaning sort of healthy or well. So who can, what gender is the teacher and how do we know? Oh, so no. Quiet. Exactly, yes, we can tell because it's Hales rather than Hela. Um, wait, no, actually, no, it's, no, so in these, it's hard to explain why it is, but in these contexts, Axo, no. Oh my gosh, Axo is joking. I was about to launch into this whole explanation of why it's not that. No. Um, you almost subjected our students, Axo, to me going on a long rant about the optative subjunctive, or in Gothic it's just the optative, but like the optative implied the implied optative form of the verb wisan in greetings. You always subjected them to that, but they luckily escaped because I realized that you were messing around with us. Yes, so because hairs is the masculine form of the verb, of the adjective, we know that the teacher that it's referring to is masculine. And likewise, this word below, mithiponios, is, what's the word? It's fellow students, basically, fellow disciples. And then we know that they are masculine because hele is the masculine plural form in the nominative of Hales. So then I'll just translate the rest of this for you guys, and that will be it for this week. So it's Forlis Golia Lesari. So it's first I greet the teacher. Huamik Golith, who greets me. Hails Lesari, hail, greetings teacher. Hele Mitsiponios. So he's saying, hello, fellow students. So he's like coming into school and he's talking you through his day, greeting his teacher, greeting his students, blah, blah, blah. So, Siponios, disciples, starts, place. Mismin, as Norigveldi very rightly pointed out, is give me mine. We have stols, stolila, sittles. So stols is a chair, stolila is like a little footrest, and then sittles is a seat. And then galistuk means gather yourself, gather together, and settle down. So that is it. We have now sort of gone through our part of the Hermeneumit episode of Diana for today. So yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for coming. We are going to be. Does anyone have any questions? Firstly, anything that they didn't understand or anything?
Oh, I have something I didn't understand.
Okay, Oxto, what is this?
You sure the teacher isn't an object?
Wait, are you actually like asking if I'm sure that the teacher isn't an object, or?
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Oh my god. Ignore Oxto's foolishness. Dwala. Dwala gumeist. Oxto, is Dwala not the what's the word?
Or are you calling me out? Like vocative?
Oh, yes, no, yes, you're right. Yes, Axo is correcting me. It's Dwal Skumeist. If I'm addressing him directly, I say Dwala. Mea Maxima. See, I got my adjectives wrong there because I need to practice my workbook, which is what you guys should do as well.
I would say your understanding of Gothic adjectives is weak. Get it? Weak? Because weak adjectives as opposed to I'm going to stop.
I'm not happy, Axo, with this state of affairs. So Recorder has asked, is it a pattern that nominative nouns ending with a vowel will end with an N in accusative, and nominative nouns ending with an S will drop the S when in accusative form? I think generally yes, as a rule of thumb. I don't know if it's like always going to be that way, but it's, for the most part. N is usually an accusative or dative ending, so that's a good clue. I don't think there are many, if any, nominative endings which end in N. So that's a good way of looking at it. So, thank you guys. Oh, I don't have any more questions before we do. Norgvaldi is asking about ASIMs and ISIMs, and I'll be honest, I don't know my Gothic well enough to give you an answer to that. Maybe Axel can jump in and
I can jump in. We're talking accusative? Yeah, I stems, like, it's staths is an I stem noun, and the accusative is stath.
Oh my gosh, so somebody's typed in Gothic. Yeah, for Alessian Bellatrix. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'm touched, honestly. Okay, nice. So, thank you guys so much for attending. The lesson will be posted on YouTube shortly, and I will see you guys next week. Now I actually have to prepare a slide for next week because I'd been ready to stop because nobody was coming, but now you guys have come and we have a community and we're doing lessons and it's really great. So thank you guys so much. I'm really looking forward to having you next week. Next week we will do more Hermeneumata Pseudodosithiana. And actually, it's just one thing before I go. It's worth noting. You can just type it in voice afterwards or DM me directly in the Discord if you want to. For a topic for next lesson, because normally in these slideshows I like to give you a little historical presentation about some aspects of Gothic language, history and culture and all the rest of this, and I'm a little bit stumped for a topic for next week. I might have started something, I'm not certain, but if there's any specific thing you may have a question about, Ostrogothic, Visigothic, history, language, culture, whatever you would like me to do a little presentation on it, or an object or something, give me a message. I'm very happy to cover that for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Obrigada também. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.